This is Glenn Rice with Clearview Sewer Chems. We're located at 1337 North Benton Way, Los Angeles, California, 90026. Today's April 5th, 2021. We're performing a video waste and sewer line inspection through a 3-inch ABS waste line cleanout located on the right-hand side of the house. And it's just as you come in the side gate on the right-hand side. And this is the walkway that goes towards the rear of our property here, and this is the walkway that goes up towards the front of our property here. This is the side gate. This is our 3-inch ABS waste line here. What we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and continue to push out. We're going to push out with the attempt to reach our city sewer tie-in. Make a little bit of a turn. Dropping down, and then we do have some water running in the house. There's another inspector in the house that's flushing toilets and running some water. So what we're going to do is we're just going to just use a little bit of that water to help us push through. And we did transition to what appears to be cast iron waste line. And as you can see, the cast iron waste line, we do have some buildup and scaling throughout the cast iron. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to push out. As we push out, it does appear that we are transitioning what appears to be vitreous clay. And as we just go ahead and continue to push out. What I'll do is I'll utilize this water to get all the way out into our city sewer tie-in, and we'll see if we can get them to stop running the water there for a few minutes, and then that way we can pull back and take a good look at the vitreous clay. A little bit of an offset in that joint there. And again, we're just going to continue to push out. It does appear that we do have a crack in that joint there. Again, we'll continue to push out, and as we pull back, we'll pull back and take a good look, and we'll mark these areas. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to push out. Dropping down. Okay, we're going to pause our mic here, and we'll just see if we can get some of this water to shut down. Okay, we went ahead and pushed all the way out, and we did push out into the middle of the stream. We are just short parallel of the manhole cover, so I don't think we quite reached our city sewer tie-in. And as you can see in this area, we are getting stuck in this area here and pushing face up against the offset in the joint there. And as we pull back, you can see that this area here on the right-hand side, right around the 6 o'clock going all the way up to about the 9 o'clock area, you can see clearly that we do have a break. And there's also a crack right around the 5 o'clock area. As I pull back, you can see the crack there right around the 5 o'clock area. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pull back from here and take a good look at our vitreous clay. And as you can see, we do have an offset in that joint as well. Okay, as we pulled back, we're looking at we can see the city sewer tie-in there, and again, we were unable to push past the offset in the break in the saddle area. So again, as we pull back, you can see that we do have a crack right around the 3 o'clock area and an offset in that joint. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back slow.
I see a crack on the left.
That joint appears to be in fair condition. Okay, we're going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And again, as we pull back, you can see that we do have a crack in this joint as well. Right around the 6 o'clock going around to up until around about the 9 o'clock area. And that crack there goes pretty much the full diameter of the pipe, and we do have a fairly large offset at the top of the pipe. As you can see at the top of the vitreous clay from about the 9 o'clock area going all the way around to about the 3 o'clock area, fairly large offset, and we do have a crack the full diameter of the pipe. So we're going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And as we pull back here, you can see that we do have another crack in the joint. As we pull back, you can see it from about the 9 o'clock going all the way around to about the 2 o'clock area. Okay, we're going to go ahead and continue to pull back, and a little bit of an offset in that joint there. And we got a little bit of an offset in that joint there as well from about the 9 o'clock going around to about the 2 o'clock area. And it does appear that we do have a little bit of a crack in this joint as well. And again, that cracks from about the 5 o'clock area going all the way up to about the 9 o'clock area. We're going to continue to pull back. And as you can see, this joint as well, we do have a crack right about the 5 o'clock area. And the crack is running down in towards the center of the vitreous clay, right around the 6 o'clock area. Going to continue to pull back. And that joint's in fair condition. And that joint's in fair condition. And this joint here, as you can see, we do have a crack in this joint here from about the 4 o'clock area all the way around to about the 9 o'clock area. You can see there, hairline crack. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And As you can see, we do have a crack in this joint here, and that crack appears to be from about the 12 o'clock all the way around to about the 6 o'clock area. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to pause here for a moment. We're going to run a little bit of water in the furthest unit, and we just want to determine where that unit ties into our sewer at the front of the house. So we're just going to pause here for a moment. Okay, again, we went ahead and ran the shower in the furthest point of the house, and it's just a small EDU unit that it's at the back of the property, and supposedly it's tied into our sewer. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pull back, and we're just going to take a look at the rest of the vitreous clay and possibly locate the tie-in for this unit. And as you can see here, we do have a crack at right around the 7 o'clock area in the vitreous clay. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And as you can see in this joint as well, we do have another fairly large crack in that joint there. And that crack there appears to be the full diameter of the pipe. As you can see with it, we do have the joint. That's our joint. And just behind the joint, we do have a fairly large crack, as you can see. So again, we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And that joint appeared to be in fair condition.
What's that?
Okay, we went ahead and as we continue to pull back, we do have a little bit of an offset in this joint here from about the 6 o'clock, going all the way up to around about the 11 o'clock area. So again, we're going to continue to pull back. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. We pull back, and this does appear to be possibly our 4 to 6 transition here. So we're going to pause here for a moment and locate this area. Okay, we went ahead and marked this area, and it's just at the edge of our driveway as you approach the property next to the sidewalk, and we did mark it with a red crayon at 8 foot 8 inches deep, and this is our 4 to 6, what appears to be our 4 to 6 transition here. So again, we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And we do have what appears to be root intrusion in this joint here, as you can see. And so what we'll do is we'll pause here for a moment, locate this area. Okay, we're going to go ahead and continue to pull back. We did mark this area, and this is just approximately 4 feet behind the 4 by 6 transition. And as you can see, we do have root intrusion in this area. So we're going to continue to pull back. I've got a heavy root that's just sticking out there, and that root there is just going to continue to grow over time. It's a fairly large finger root there. So we're going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And that joint appeared to be in fair condition. And as you can see, we do have a break in the vitreous clay. This area here, as you can see, we clearly have another break in the line here from about the, does appear from about the 3 o'clock area all the way up and around to about the 1 o'clock area. So we're just going to go ahead and mark this area as well. Okay, again, we did mark this area, and this is along the walkway as you approach the front door, and we did mark it with a red crayon at 8 foot 2 inches deep. And again, as we pull back, you can see that we do clearly have a fairly large crack in this area. And so we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. A little bit of root intrusion coming through that joint there. And again, very difficult to tell. But it does appear to be there's some root intrusion coming through that joint there. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And again, as we pull back in this area, a minor offset in that joint, but nothing major. And we have a little more root intrusion coming through that joint there, but again, nothing major. A little bit of an offset as well. And you can see this joint here, we do have a fairly large offset of this joint here from about the 9 o'clock going all the way around to about the 3 o'clock area. So we'll continue to pull back. And again, do another offset in that joint there from about the 9 o'clock going around to about the 3 o'clock. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. Continue to pull back. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. And we do have a little bit of an offset in that joint there from about the 3 o'clock all the way around to about the about the 9 o'clock area all the way around to about the 3 o'clock area. What we'll do is we're going to pull back a little bit more, and then what we'll do is we're going to locate an area that possibly would be a good location for a mainline sewer clean out at the front of the house. And it does appear that we have a little bit of a belly in this area. What we're going to do is we're going to shut the water down, and we'll pull back and take a look at this area. So we're going to pause here for a moment. Okay, we went ahead and located this area, and it's just to the right of the front door, just in front of the porch, underneath the large trees that are the 2 trees that are there, and in the plant area, we will mark it with an orange flag at 9 foot 8 inches deep. This area here would be a good place for a mainline sewer clean out. And as we pull back, we're pulling back into the vitreous clay, and this vitreous clay section is underneath the porch area at the front of the house. And as you can see, we do have a little bit of an offset in that joint there from about the 9 o'clock going all the way around to about the 2 o'clock area, and holding a little bit of water in this area. As you can see, we don't have any water running right now, and it does appear that we're holding a little bit of water in this area. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back to see how long we have a belly. It's approximately a 4-foot belly in that area. It does appear that there's a lot of, appears to be maybe possibly egg shavings. You can see in this area, or could also possibly be paint. They possibly have cleaned their paintbrushes and stuff in this area. And we do have an offset in this area here, right around the 11 o'clock area all the way around to about the 3 o'clock area. Again, we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. We pull back, we make a little bit of a turn. And as we pull back, you can see in this area here, it does appear that we do have a crack in this area as well. As we pull back, you can see that there's a crack right around the 12 o'clock area going all the way down to about the 3 o'clock area. And that area had shifted a little bit. We do have a little bit of an offset there. And we transition back into our cast iron waistline. I'm going to pause here for a moment. Okay, again, we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And this transition here is, again, this is underneath our house area here. It does have a little bit of a basement underneath. And you can see that we are in cast iron waistline. And again, as I mentioned, the cast iron waistline does have quite a buildup and scaling throughout. Again, that's typical for the age of the cast iron. We're going to continue to pull back. They did have the line hydrojetted, so again, a lot of the scaling and a little bit of the debris got washed out in the cast iron. Again, we're pulling back. A little bit of a belly area there. As you can see, they're holding a little bit of water in that area as we pull back. And pulling back into black ABS waistline. And we continue to pull up. Basically, we're pulling up our clean out. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And as we pull back, we pull up and out of our 3-inch ABS clean out, and that will conclude our video waste and sewer line inspection.